Sunderland. I'm not sure if you remember me. I taught 2 last week or last month or the week or the month before that.
See, I wasn't here that one.
No, you weren't. Neither one of you were here.
I was in
It was
Roseville.
Marianne and Callum were here. But I'm Jamie. So I'll be teaching your class today. We're going to be doing our speeches. So you guys should have gotten the evaluation forms, each one of you. You'll have one for each person that does a speech. So every person that does a speech today, you're just going to fill it out for their name, their topic, and just fill out every part of this. And then after each person goes, then we'll go over it and talk about, give some constructive criticism. We don't want to be mean or harsh, but we want to help. Okay? So we'll go ahead and pray, and then we'll see if anybody wants to go first. All right? All right. Thank you, Jesus, for this day. We thank you for this class and this time that you have brought us together. I pray that you would just help us to learn and to grow in this class, that you would just help us to learn what you have for us today. Have your way in this class. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Does anybody want to go first?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Sharon.
Sharon.
Yes, so weak.
All right. I'm going to... Oh, no. Did this go away?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna... Is it okay if I steal this chair?
Yeah. Can I give you this?
I'm gonna come right here.
I will wait.
I know, but you need to hold it.
Just gonna Ooh, beautiful.
Do you know the
Hi, my name's Sharon. Pleased to meet you. And my topic today is the daisy. As you can see, I've given you all a daisy to have a look at. Have you ever stopped and wondered about the daisy? Many flowers that grow in the wild are classed as invasive weeds, but is the daisy one of them? Every day we're surrounded by them, in our gardens, in our parks, in our walkways, in our driveways. I've even seen them growing at the side of the roads. We see them everywhere. As children, many of us will remember making bracelets and necklaces and hairbands by making a delicate split in the stems. We could interlink each daisy into a chain. What enjoyment we got out of the most simplest of things. But let us take a closer look at this simple but elegant and beautiful flower. The common daisy, as it's known, its scientific name is Bellis perennis, from the Latin bellis meaning pretty and perennis meaning everlasting. It is a single stemmed flower consisting of a golden yellow centre surrounded by many spoon-shaped white petals. They tend to grow in well-drained soils and have little to no maintenance. There is no known insect or disease problems, and is a flower that can withstand a lot. Even if mowed down, the flower will still grow. It is very hard to get rid of completely. It closes its head at night and opens in the morning. I didn't know that. That was something I learned myself, which was even more beautiful. Quite often these flowers are used in homeopathy. In ancient Rome, the surgeons would be close by to the Roman legions and they would send their slaves out to collect sackfuls of these daisies. They would extract their juices and soak their bandages in it. These bandages would then be used to bind sword and spear cuts of their wounded. Daisies are still being used today to treat wounds and after certain surgical procedures, as well as blunt trauma in animals. In homeopathy, daisies are used for treating gastrointestinal and respiratory disorders. The flowers also can be eaten raw in sandwiches, salads and soups. It can be made into a tea as a vitamin supplement. Have you ever considered the spiritual symbolism of the daisy? The saints surrounding Jesus, praising and worshipping his name. The white symbolising innocence and purity, cleansing, peace, overcomers, hope, safety. It's the colour of perfection. In Daniel 12 verse 10 it says, many shall be purified and made white. In Revelations 2 verse 17 it says, to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written which no man knows, saving him that receives it. In Revelations 3 verse 5, he that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiments. Revelation 7 verse 9, this is my favourite. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. I often wondered about the palms in their hands, but from where Jesus is seated, this is what he sees, white robes and palms, as we the saints are worshipping him. Jesus is the golden yellow centre as he sits on his throne, being worshipped by the saints that surround him. Yellow symbolising warmth, sunshine, joy, happiness, intellect, energy, arouses cheerfulness, muscle energy, freshness. Yellow is often associated with food too. It indicates honour and loyalty, but it's unstable and spontaneous. It's a light in the darkness. It is love. In Luke 9 verse 29 it says, and as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered, and his raiment was white and glistening. In Matthew 17 verse 2, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. In Acts 26 verse 13, with Paul on the road to Damascus, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun shining round about me. So as we can see, it has significance with the colours with the daisy. The daisy itself is an overcomer. No matter what kind of weather it faces on a day-to-day basis, it will bounce back and still try to hold its head high. Even through the worst storms. Why? Because it has Jesus at the centre. Even us saints, no matter what battles or storms we face on a day-to-day basis, with Jesus at the centre of it all, we can be overcomers too. You can trample all over us, you can bend us, you can even break us, but with Jesus leading and guiding us, we will bounce back. We will grow even stronger, and our light and our testimony will touch many others, and we all will be interlinked like one big daisy chain. Jesus doesn't want your life to be complicated or confusing or in a turmoil. He wants your life to be simple, like the daisy. We can't avoid the storms, but what we do in the midst of them is what counts. We are not on our own. The daisy may be a single stem flower, but look around and you will see it is not on its own. It is surrounded by more of its kind. There may be distance amongst them, but through prayer and hope, many more will surround you, giving you the help you need to be sheltered through your storms. Help is there, you only need to ask. Next time you're in your garden sunbathing, or in the park for a gentle walk, look down and pick up a daisy. Look at it and remember that Jesus is continually with you, and that through him you can overcome anything you go through. Look at the daisy again and believe life is simple with Jesus.
Just 1 second, Sister Liz, you can just wait. If you want to go ahead and fill out for Sister Sharon, and then we're going to talk about hers, and then you can go up and present yours. All right.
Any questions?
I don't think I have any questions, but that was.
Can you hear and see us okay?
Are we back?
Did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed it, but when I was younger, I had an allergy to Jesus.
Oh no.
That's why I don't
You
like
don't like
Jesus.
them? All right.
It's no the thing, because I used to deal with the beating
Yes.
and
That's
everything
all right.
else, and that's how I says to you, I don't like daisies. I would never eat one. Sorry. But I enjoyed the story. I thought it was very interesting.
Mhm.
And when you're putting it towards the Bible, because that's your picture.
The
Things in it.
simplicity. Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Would you fill the form out for me?
I didn't know I was the valid farmer. I thought it was just.
No, we're gonna eat.
You can
everyone's gonna
evaluate
fill
what I've just said.
out for everyone.
I just took it.
And I'll evaluate yours.
Smart we were getting.
Oh, well.
That's what Sister Gail says. That's how. She says to me, I want you to read it with the language.
All right. So, Sister Sharon, how did you feel like it went?
I felt it went well, so I did.
Yeah.
I got across what I wanted to get across.
Right.
I was actually quite excited preparing it,
Mm-hmm.
so I did.
Yeah.
And I was actually, even as I was looking up for research and things like that, and I'm actually discovering more about, I mean, a daisy is always a flower that I've loved, and it's because it's so simple.
Right.
It's because it's a beautiful flower, and you don't need to be extravagant in maybe the way you dress or the way you put your makeup on and all those kind of things. You don't have. It's just God just wants you as you, just simple,
Right.
you know. And simple is beautiful.
Right.
They even say less is more, you know, when they say when you're decorating your homes and things, less
Right.
is more, simple, you know, and that's what I like about the daisy. It's so simple, but it's got that beauty about it, you know, and every day we pass by it, we don't acknowledge it,
Right.
you know, and I think we should be more acknowledging it.
Right. I definitely think you had very good structure to the way that you presented it, and you summed everything up in the end.
Mhm.
You know, brought all your points back together and summed it up. The one thing I would say to work on is keep working on your eye contact.
Really, okay.
You did good making eye contact, but there's always more.
Yeah,
Even whenever I'm speaking on Wednesday afternoons, I know that's one thing that I have to continually work on.
mhm.
Going slow and making eye contact, those are my biggest difficulties.
Yeah, it's my difficulty because
So-
I get so nervous.
Right. No, you kept a good speed the whole time.
Mhm.
You did make some eye contact, but what are some ways that you think you could maybe make better eye contact next time? Some things
I
that might
think
help.
maybe learn, kind of obviously not looking at my notes and being able to kind of say things without actually,
Right.
you know, if I was to go over that more and kind of know what I'm saying without actually looking at my notes, it would be better for me, and that way I could get more
Right.
kind of eye contact that way, I suppose.
Right. That is one good thing about continually, like if you know ahead of time what you're going to speak on, and if you study it continually before the time to speak, then you don't have to refer to your notes as much, and you feel much more confident about it.
Mhm.
That it helps, because I know that it's something you're passionate about, and you can tell that as you were speaking. But I think the more you go over it, then you can get even more excited and into it.
Yeah.
It definitely helps.
I mean, me personally, when it comes to serious talks, I do get very nervous and
Mhm.
very, I'm thankful that there's only like a handful.
Right.
If there was a whole crowd here, I would to leave.
Well, even I get nervous in front of crowds.
I just don't.
Even me.
If I'm acting it and I'm dramatising it,
It's
totally
different.
different.
Yep.
You know, but when you're up here giving a serious talk, it's actually very nerve-wracking and that's why I do find it difficult to give eye contact that way.
Right.
I
So
thought
we
it was
do.
beautiful. I really did and
Yeah.
enjoy it. And see the way you were coming across. I felt as if you were going to burst into this big story
Yeah.
because it was really.
Well, that's the way I was wanting to. That's the way I was wanting to portray it. I wanted to portray it not only not as a speech, not as a speech, and not as a preaching, but as more of like a story that you're putting expressions into, and like a fictional story that you're telling. That's the way I think I was trying to do it, and so that I wasn't as nervous. Yeah.
I thought you were good. I actually did think it was good. I'm saying to myself when I'm watching, if I was a child listening to that, I'd be really interested.
Yeah.
I really would. I really would. Because I was interested in when I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I really would have.
I do have a talent of storytelling. I've been able to do the storytelling, and that's why I was doing it. I was doing it that way because with the expressions and with the the way they talk.
I thought it was good. Trying, I really did.
But thanks
That's
very
great.
much.
Good job.
I'm just keeping you going because I don't want to got in there.
Did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Easy.
Can I sit at the table?
Daisies.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I'm getting master of this, I'm not no.
Well, I'm not Sister Kelly. I'm probably
Look,
let you.
I even
But
gave a
Sister Kelly might not
visual aid.
let you. I know, I like it.
No, I
I even
don't.
gave a visual aid.
Right, I'm going to speak about, oh wait a minute, my name is Elizabeth Callan, right, and I'm just going to let you know that I love my country, Scotland, right, I love my country, and when I started doing a wee bit of history there, it was actually something else I was picking on, but when I started doing a little bit of history, I went to the Hebrides Islands. And in 1949 there was a revival in the Hebrides Islands for the Christian faith, born again. But if you steep back in history in the Hebrides Islands, there's 7 islands in the Hebrides, 7. If you go back in the Christianity faith in 1639, it was a pagan Christianity, not so much as the devil, although the Catholic faith was in it, it was still pagan, right, because they didn't know too much. And on the Christianity cross, it's called a Celtic cross. And on your Celtic cross is a cross with a circle. Cross represents Jesus, circle represents Satan. That's what it stands for, and I know many people know that. So then the Protestant faith came in with Knox. I mean, your Protestant faith, they were very stern, upper crust, you didn't do anything. When you prayed, you did not smile, you prayed, okay? So this minister, Duncan Campbell, he was actually getting fed up the way they were praying, and he was trying to figure out how he could bring a wee bit of life into it, right? There was this young boy there, and this young boy was just baptised. He just turned to the faith of Jesus. But when he looked at this boy, he seen this boy praying and in tears, right? And he asked this boy to come up. He says, this boy has actually got more faith than me. And this was a minister. He could sense that this boy was so loving. He just loved God. And he was just baptised in God. So this boy came up, and he came up to the pulpit, and he says 3 words of the prayer, right? And on the 3 words of the prayer, There was people kneeling, lying, praising God. The Holy Spirit had come upon that church in 3 words. But it just didn't happen in the church. It happened to the 7 islands all at the one time. There was one person who was in a pigsty, feeding his pigs, down, flat, on the face, in the pigsty, and he was seen praising God and thanking God and telling God that he loved him. There was 2 sisters, one was blind, one was riddled with arthritis, who knew God, but didn't know anything about healing or anything like that, but God, they were healed. And each day at night, from 7 p.m, 10 p.m, 12 p.m, 3 a.m, there was prayer in every church in the Hebridean Islands. It went on and on and on. There was nobody in the Hebridean Islands that left, and if they did leave, it was because they didn't believe in God. Because every person there ended up born again Christians. And that was through one young boy, and he was only young, that God touched that boy. And that was why you got the revival of the Hebrides born again Christian. And it's still in parts of today in the Hebridean Islands. And although you've still got your Protestants, and the Staines Protestants, the Catholic faith there is not as much, although you have still got it in Iona. Iona is a burial place for kings and as well. It's all different actually in Iona. But that's where it stemmed from there. Christianity, the beginning of Christianity was the Catholic and pagan faith. And what had actually happened there was that the Catholic faith, they didn't want to disregard the pagan faith because they needed it. So they mixed the 2 of them together. That's where you get the ritual, the saints still. And in some bits of the Catholic faith we still got that. But this was a born again, and I thought it was just so beautiful. The 2 sisters, these 2 sisters were in the island of Harris. They weren't in the island of Lewis where it's all happened. They were in the other island in Harris where they were healed. One was covered. She was blind, and the other one was riddled with arthritis, and they were healed.
Wow.
So, I thought that was beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
All right.
I enjoyed
Well done.
there was no tape, but I couldn't remember. If I still sit stunned in there?
Do what?
If I still stunned in there?
It's okay, you're fine where you're at. Okay. So, Sister Liz, how do you feel like it went?
Not very good.
No? Why is that?
Because there was a lot here that I'd missed out.
That you missed?
Aye,
Okay.
because I actually wasn't going to write about that. I
Mm-hmm.
was actually going to do about a story about independence of Scotland.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I ended up doing that.
Okay. And so you feel like you missed a lot or you messed it up?
I kind of messed it up.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Sister Sharon, how do you feel?
I actually thought I enjoyed that. What I found was it was really interesting, and especially when she's not got any notes in front of her and being able to write off everything off by heart.
Right.
That to me was absolutely fantastic. I thought, wow, how does she know all this knowledge? You know, it was all this knowledge taken in and how you knew it, and having such a passion about it, it was just amazing. The only thing I would probably say is I would have liked maybe a map of
The Hebrides.
the Hebridean Islands so that I would see where this revival took place. As a visual aid when you're giving your speech. That would have been absolute, that would have been brilliant just to see that, you know, whereabouts it was in Scotland, because not everybody knows where the Hebridean Islands are, so yeah, that would, that to me would have been, that would be the only improvement I would probably say just for that, but apart from that, it was fantastic. You gave a great eye contact and you gave, even with your hands, it was kind of like this. The only, I'd probably say the point.
I talked with my hands.
you were pointing a lot,
Yeah.
but I mean, apart from that, that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was thinking about a visual aid as well, or even maybe like a nice Scottish song in the beginning to kind of
Well, the Scottish music in the background.
yeah, in the background while you're talking, something like.
Well, I was
along-
actually
Like
thinking,
bagpipes or something.
I was
in the
actually
background.
thinking about that one
Mhm,
this morning,
mhm.
and I went, it's a pity I couldn't speak Gaelic,
Yeah. Oh, that would have been nice.
because that,
Right.
and it's funny that, because I was at a Gaelic church last week,
Oh, yeah.
and see if I'd known I was going to do that story,
Yeah.
I'd have got somebody who
Right.
would do it.
Right. I think overall it was good. One thing, like Sister Sharon was saying, it's nice, you know, that you were able to put your notes down and just communicate completely without that. One thing about that, make sure that you are making contact with everyone. There in the beginning, your eye contact was
Everywhere.
well, it was everyone, but then toward the end.
You were just heading towards Jamie rather than me.
Well, there was a time where it was like you two were having a conversation, and then you would spend a designated amount of time just with one person, and then you would go to the next one. So just make sure that you're continually looking at everyone in the room. And I think you have a few mannerisms that I don't. Sister Sharon, you might have had some different ones if you hadn't been holding your notes. I know you used your hands. You both did a great job of using your hands and moving. So those sort of things help keep people engaged. That's one of my bad things is I say a lot, just like that.
I
But-
never noticed that till she's mentioned it.
Right, but there's one thing that that you do in typical conversation that you also did up there, which usually we try to like separate it and make it a little different. But after a lot of your points, you would say right, because it's a very Scottish
I never
thing.
noticed that.
it's a very Scottish thing. Well, not just Scottish, because when I lived in Northern Ireland, they did it there as well. They would say right at the end of things, like we're gonna go do
It's
this,
a Celtic thing.
Right.
right? And so you brought that in a couple times, but I think part of that was just your ease that you were speaking with. You know, there was a level of comfort there, so you just kind of eased into a natural state of conversation. Does that make
Because
sense?
it was comfortable with it, because I know a lot about the history. So
Right. You know what you're talking about. You know who you're talking to, and so it makes it easy. But that's not always best for a formal
Oh, I know.
speech. But overall, great job. Let's see. Okay, Sunderland, do we have anyone there doing presentations today? I know, Maria, you're waiting until next week, or next month, I'm sorry, I always say week. Was that a no? I saw it
So through.
off to the side. Thumbs up, thumbs down, presentations, yes, no?
No,
Thumbs down?
sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well, great job. I will get these back to you. I'm just gonna speak with Sister Kelly about them
Yeah.
before I get you your feedback
Okay.
on that. Because I
So
want
do we just keep them ourselves?
you can swap them so that she has yours and that way you can see each other's. And if Sister Kelly needs them, then she will let you know.
You only get an average because you were reading out the book, Ken.
All right, and now we're gonna do
We did it today.
we're gonna do something else. Sunderland, I believe Sister Amber or Sister Kelly should have sent you. There's a little form that we're gonna do now. It's about listening. We're gonna do this little survey that talks about the importance of listening. Jim, do you wanna do one?
Eh,
Did you hear my story?
All right, so we're just gonna go through this together and talk about this. Oh, found a daisy. You're so pretty. I love them. All right, we're gonna go through this together. So if you have a pen and you just want to fill this out, this is a listening awareness inventory. We're just going to find out if we are good listeners. Listening is such an important part of communicating, and it's one of the biggest parts that people tend to forget about. So we're going to go through this together. The first question, are you a patient listener? Do you let people finish what they're trying to say before you speak? Do you avoid interrupting, jumping to conclusions, and finishing other people's sentences? Now try to evaluate yourself honestly, very honestly. I know I have a tendency to...
I don't depends what they're talking about.
That's true. That's true.
We haven't got that one, sister.
You don't have that sheet? Okay. Well, if you want to, I'll read it off to you. And then these are we're doing it on a scale. Sorry, you're right here. We're doing it on a scale. So 4 is you do this almost always. 3 is you do it usually. 2 is you do it seldom. And 1 is you never do it. Do you want me to read those off again?
That's all right.
Okay, so I'll read the first question one more time. It says, are you a patient listener? Do you let people finish what they're trying to say before you speak? Do you avoid interrupting, jumping to conclusions, and finishing other people's sentences? So 4 is you're always patient. 3 is you're usually a patient listener. 2 is you are seldom a patient listener. And 1 is never. Now we're going to go to number 2. Do you reserve judgment until you have all the information? This one's hard to do. A lot of times we want to jump to conclusions.